Welcome back. My name is Malka, and this is everything I read and watched in the month of June. I read 6 books and I watched 7 movies, so let's get into it. The first book I finished in the month of June was Pageboy by Elliot Page. This is a memoir, and I really enjoyed this book. I read it on audiobook. I have actually read quite a few celebrity memoirs, and this one just wasn't my favorite, so I did end up giving it 3.5 stars. I think Elliot Page's story is really important, so I do think that it's worth reading, but I don't think it was written that well, and the timeline was extremely confusing. I had no idea what was happening when in his life and what he wanted me to take from it, but I also think at the same time, his experience as a trans person in Hollywood specifically is a really important one, so I am happy I read it. The second book I finished in June was Best Offer Wins by Marisa Kashino. This is another audiobook that I read. I gave this one 3.5 stars as well. I really liked it. I thought it was a great thriller, but it wasn't like anything new or that exciting. I gave it probably an extra whole star just for the ending because I didn't see it coming. And I had a good time. I think it's worth reading, but it's nothing out of this world. And then I continued on my Shadowhunters journey. I read City of Lost Souls. This took me almost the entire month because I started it before I left for my trip and then finished it after. So it did take me a while, and I think that led into my rating of another 3.5 stars. This one just wasn't my favorite of the series. I think this one's sort of a little filler book, even though it's huge. I will be finishing this series this month, hopefully, by reading City of Heavenly Fire, but this is still a good one. And then it was Pride Month, so I had to get some sapphic literature in here. I read Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. I gave this book 5 stars. This is one of the most perfect books I've ever read. I adored it. I did not grow up in a conservative Christian place or family, so I think that if you did as a queer person, this will resonate even more with you than it did with me. I just loved everything about this. I really loved the letter writing, and I just can't say enough good things about this book. So if you haven't read this yet, I highly recommend that. This book also took me all month. This is The Overstory by Richard Powers. It won the Pulitzer Prize, and I did not like it very much. I do think it is like a good book. I still ended up giving it 3.5 stars because Richard Powers is a good writer, but I do think it was tedious to get through and repetitive. I don't understand why most of the middle section was the way that it was. I also think this is sort of an introductory call to action, if you will. So I was finding it a little bit strange that this got so much praise when there are researchers and activists who are doing a lot more than this. This felt very like, a white man, let me tell these people's story, but not have it grounded in reality so that I can get the credit. And that really bothered me, but I also think it was written very beautifully. So there are parts of it that I really liked. There are characters that I thought were really wonderful. In my review on Fable, I think I added like that this book feels like when a man likes to hear himself talk. And I really feel like that the more I come away from it, because there's no reason this should have been over 500 pages. If it was like 250 pages of the exact same important plot points, it would have gotten the point across just as well and maybe even more impactful. I think I'm going to just steer clear from these prestigious awards and maybe read the short list or the finalists, because I have also read a Nobel Peace Prize winner and I absolutely hated it. Last book I read for Pride Month, I found this at the library on the Pride display, is Devon and Kris Plan a Wedding by Chencia Higgins. I have not read a lot of contemporary romance, so I had a lovely time. I read this in like 2 days. I don't think it was like written that well, but I really like the fake dating trope. And it's very gay. Like the lesbian portrayal is very accurate. I really liked it. It's very messy. It's also lovely. I love love. And it's a really cute story. So for contemporary romance, I would recommend this. I gave it 3 stars. And then this month I actually only watched 7 movies, which is really low for me. I saw Masters of the Universe, and I actually saw this in a movie theater in Norway. So I accidentally went to the 4D showing of this, and my chair was like shaking me around the whole time. So I don't know if that impacted my rating or enjoyment of this movie. I gave it 2.5 stars. I don't think it was really worth seeing, but I'm glad I saw it in such a bizarre setting. I watched a stand-up special by Julio Torres. This is the Color Theories one, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I watched it because my friends actually got to see this live, and they could not say enough good things about it. So when it finally went on streaming, I had to watch it. It is so creative, so hilarious. I think it just like really is my sense of humor as well. So I really, really loved it. It rained a lot while I was in Norway. So I also ended up seeing Michael in the movie theater, and I gave this movie 3.5 stars. I think it was fun because there's a lot of Michael Jackson music in it, but they do play the entire song, and that makes it easy to love, but I actually don't think it was a very good film. And because I was thinking about like musical biopics that I love, I made my mom watch Rocket Man. So that was another movie I watched. This is something I had seen like many times, and I still love it. I gave it 4 stars. It's one of the best biopics, I think, even though it is a musical, which I do forget every time I watch it. I do think because Elton John had a hand in making this film, it is like more sad and negative than other biopics of other artists, because he has like a negative view of himself at that time. But I think that adds to my enjoyment of it because it feels a little more real and raw. And Elton John's music is so, so good. So I always love to watch Rocket Man. And then I went to my local theater that plays old movies, the Trilon, and we saw Hot Fuzz, which is one of my favorite Edgar Wright films. I love this movie. It's so, so funny. It's just joke after joke after joke. And I gave this movie 4 stars. I will always watch this movie, like whenever I have the opportunity. I love Hot Fuzz. I saw Little Miss Sunshine for the first time. I can't believe I hadn't seen this film. I enjoyed it so much. I gave it 4 stars. I think it's so funny and morbid and dry in a way that I love, and all the actors in it are so good. I love every single one of them. I also really love a film that like culminates in a dance. I think that that is such a fun plot point in a movie. The last movie I watched was Oh Hi. This is like Logan Lerman, and I love him, so I really wanted to see this, but this movie is quite bad. I gave it 2.5 stars. I think David Cross was probably the funniest part of this movie, so he can stay, but I did not like this film, and I think that I'm really glad I didn't see it in the theater and waste my money. It's just like falls flat in pretty much every aspect. The part at the beginning where they're at the strawberry stand, the tone of that scene specifically was so oddly different than the rest of the film, and I kind of wish it had stayed with that comedic tone, which was like overacted and sort of campy, and it did not continue that way, so I was a little bit disappointed by that. I have literally only been watching 3 TV shows this month. Love Island USA, of course. It's every day but Wednesday, and I've watched every single season, all 28 now of every country, and so of course I'm going to continue on that streak and watch it. And I have a group chat with my friends, which was really fun. I haven't had that before, so I've been really enjoying watching it and voting live and live texting everybody. It's been really fun, and the finale is this Sunday, so I can't wait for that. I've also been watching House of the Dragon. We're only 2 episodes in, and they are both incredible and devastating and like just iconic in every way. I have been waiting so long for this season, and it's been really good so far. And then the third TV show I've been watching is Criminal Minds Evolution. I have seen all of Criminal Minds. I love it so much, and I actually really like the reboot, maybe even like Evolution more than the original 12 seasons. I really wanted to catch up because Connor's story is going to be in a few episodes. That is everything I watched in the month of June. It was Pride Month. I tried to make it queer, and I think it did a pretty good job, but I'm queer, so whatever I do is gay, you know. I will see you in a few weeks for whatever I decide to post, and definitely next month for another recap. Bye!